Okay, we're about to start our first draft coverage with Josh Snow and Jeff Sittner. Um, Not sure who's sitting where.
So Jeff is the one with the yellow sleeves, I believe. Oh no, that's Josh because he's got the tanner arms.
Yeah, I think Jeff is wearing a sweater, right?
Right.
Okay. So Josh looks like he's playing Simic, and Jeff is playing Boros. So
Jeff's deck has some pretty sweet bombing cards in it.
I noticed he had an Aurelia's Fury, so that's probably the best card you could have in the set.
He's got a frontline medic, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
He's also got the Spark Trooper. His deck is a little confused with Basilic.
Yeah, I noticed that too. He's got two
Basilica
Basilica guards,
which is a little awkward.
like
but
playing Hornto and my Boros Beatdown deck.
it's a little weird. His deck is a little confused, but like I said, it's pretty bomby.
Yeah. I guess you can drain people with guards, like, so it has that going for it, but it still doesn't seem super great in a Boros Beatdown deck. Like, you'd much rather have Ember Beast for sure.
Right. I mean, you're not losing the game while it's you're not actively losing the game while it's
Yeah, but you're not actively winning the game.
Either, right?
Yeah. So Josh is on Simic. So let's see. So he's got a Simic Manipulator, which is like one of the best creatures. Stolen Identity. Stolen Identity is really sweet. I actually had a really sweet Stolen Identity play when I was playing Simic in a draft. So I Stolen Identity'd my opponent's Din Roga Horror.
I think Josh just mulliganed to 6. Okay.
So let's see. Yeah, it was funny. I picked up Jeff's deck list and I looked at it. And I'm like, oh, he's got 2 Basilica guards. He's Or's Mountains.
That's a pretty good turn 2 play for his. Oh, that's a late. I don't know. I guess that's fine.
He probably does. Oh no, he does have blue. I don't know why he. Maybe he just drew it.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Yeah, maybe it was like the top card of his deck.
Okay.
The other thing too is if he doesn't have like a 2-drop, it's not like there's a difference between playing Cloudfin Raptor on 1 or 2. So.
Right, that's true.
So this looks like a pretty conventional Boros. So he's got a Syndic in his hand, and Josh doesn't have anything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Josh mulled to 6. He's also got like 2 lands in his hand, if not 3.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of lands, which is, yeah. This is one of the things. Like, I know people really like Cloudfin Raptor, but sometimes I don't really like that guy. Actually, most of the time I don't really like him.
It was interesting when talking to pros about the Pro Tour and testing for draft. A lot of them had a view that you were supposed to force Simic for the Pro Tour specifically. I actually don't know the reason why, but everyone was on the force Simic plan.
I think because it's generally considered one of the weakest guilds. But there's frontline medic, so that guy's going to start triggering if
This
Josh
is going to
doesn't have
be
an answer.
pretty rough.
But the thing about Simic is like it's arguably one of the weakest guilds to draft. But if no one's drafting it, then like you can get a good deck.
So it looks like Josh has 2 lands, Simic Charm, and something else in hand. So Forest, Simic Charm, Island, something else. So I did 4 cards and.
Me and frontline medic, double checking. Make sure that guy's gonna probably run him over next turn.
Just making sure I'm gonna lose to this guy before I do.
Yeah. It's like, well, I'm not blocking with Raptor, so.
He's not blocking with either of those creatures.
He's not blocking at all. What's happening? He's taking at least 7 here, I imagine.
Yeah, he's taking a truck.
And
it's like a Scorchwalker and an Aurelia's Fury.
No, I think it's a Syndic. Is that a Fury in his hand?
I thought it was an Aurelia's Fury.
I mean, if he has a Fury, he can just go land, kill both your guys.
I mean, he's getting the option to block, right?
Yeah. Which, yeah, I'm sure Josh is going to take it.
So that's a Syndic. So Scorchwatcher, Syndic, a Mountain, something else?
I think he
so it's Island, Forest, Simic Charm.
Yeah, I guess he's saving the Scorchwalker just as like a Lava Axe at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Lava Axe is a lot better when it costs 3 mana.
Well, yeah.
So it seems we in addition to the Invitational, we have 20 people that showed up to play in the Open. So we've got a full roster out there as well. People starting their first round of Standard. So we've got a pretty full house. People showing up to.
If this match goes as fast as it looks like it's going to go, we might be getting an Open match as well to watch.
Yeah, I'm trying to check, look at their sideboards and see.
Josh is pretty mana flooded here. I think he just totally lost 2 lands and a Simic Charm now.
So he can totally
Lost 2 whatever he.
Well, he probably wants to totally lost the medic before combat happens.
So it doesn't get the indestructibility trigger.
Yeah,
right.
So
Exactly.
that way he can like try and block with his really small creatures.
What do we know Josh's life total? Is he at 8? Looks like he's at 8.
So yeah, he's gonna put the raptor in front of the goblin.
And then he's going to take a ton. He's
9.
gonna die here?
Yeah, so he's dead.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that was
A lot of lands.
That's
for
kind
Josh.
of getting run over in game 1. Hopefully puts more of a showing in game 2.
I'm pretty sure he
there's not too
mulled.
much
I'm
he
pretty
could've
sure
done.
he mulled on that hand.
yeah. I
So-
mean, I'm trying to think if he has a good draw. I mean, he has Frilled Oculus, and he's like Hands of Binding, so he could potentially end up with like Raptor and the Oculus to fight that draw.
I also think that Jeff got one of his better draws in his deck.
Yeah, but
Seemed like a pretty aggressive play.
I think I'm trying to see. I'd imagine his deck's fairly consistent. Let's see. So he's got Legion Loyalist, which is not a 2-power guy. He's got a Skimbrand Goblin. I don't know how many 2-drops he actually has.
Looks like he has 2, and then 2 1-drops, and then a bunch of 4 and 3-drops.
So he actually doesn't have that many 2-drops.
Right, that's what I'm saying by his draw was like...
That actually kind of surprised me because generally the Boros decks you're looking to maximize on your 2-drops.
Right.
And they have a ton of really good 2-drops in both the common and the uncommon slot. So I'm kind of surprised he only has 2 of them. And I mean, Syndic's good in Boros, but it's not like. And Skimbrand Goblin is mediocre-ish.
I like both of those cards. I actually pick them when I'm... on Moto, when I'm really tired, I actually force Boros. So like if it's like 10 p.m. and I want to be in bed quickly, I'll like force Boros on Moto, just highly pick up the 2-drops,
Yeah.
just so that I can just play the game faster. And the Goblin actually I like the Goblin in Boros strictly because sometimes it's just like save my dude.
Yeah, I mean, +1 toughness sometimes will save your guy, but not as much.
Right.
But one of the nice things I like about Goblin is the fact that he leaves you open early on with both Gruul and Boros.
Right.
And Gruul actually sometimes can struggle with the early curve a little bit.
Right.
But Boros, like, hopefully you end up with, Halberdiers and Syndics and, enough 2-drops that, like, having the Goblin isn't going to be that big a deal.
Another reason that I force Boros on Moto is because I don't play Moto as much as I play Paper.
Yeah.
So playing Orzhov is really hard because my win condition is typically
Extort,
extorting,
yeah.
and I don't play fast enough on Moto to extort people to death.
Yeah, I don't play on Moto very much. I actually started playing a lot more in the last couple weeks, and I was playing in a standard queue, and I actually just skipped to one of my turns entirely because was hitting F6 or like F6 through my opponent's turn and then like F6 through my turn, and I'm like, oh no, and then I just skip my turn.
So I was playing. So Quentin adjusted the settings on my computer.
Yeah.
And he adjusted the settings to the point where I skipped every phase, and I time walked myself. But I thought it was my opponent's turn, and then my opponent went. But Quentin was outside downstairs from my apartment smoking.
Yeah.
So I had to run downstairs after F16 through my first main phase to catch him for my second main phase, so that he could fix it because I had never done it.
He's showing us no land. He's showing us a couple lands.
Looks like a fairly balanced draw.
Yeah, so Jeff had no lands.
Whose second PTQ top 8 playmat is in our coverage area?
I believe it's Aaron. I have 2 actually, so
I have 1. That one's mine, but that was horrible. I experienced my first ever experience of tilt in a top 8 of a PTQ. We were in Casper,
how do you go on
Wyoming.
tilt in the top 8? Shouldn't you be feeling pretty good once you're in
Well,
the top
so
8?
you know you have people scout for you, right? So I was told my opponent was playing like blue-white control.
Okay.
This was before War was a deck in Modern, like before it became a deck.
Oh, right. So it was like the kind of I remember playing it like some of them had like wall of omen.
Right, exactly.
Like that.
So I thought it was this deck. So I played a Lotus Cobra, or I wasn't a Lotus. I don't remember what I played, but he cast Lightning Helix. He cracked his fetch land, grabbed a red source, and Lightning Helix my thing, and I was like, what?
What just happened?
I thought he was playing blue-white.
So Josh is definitely a little more aggressive starting off with Experiment 1.
He's got a Crisis too.
This is gonna be sweet.
All right, so we've got Josh's nice beatdown hand.
That was sweet.
He's like, I can do this too.
I can do it better. I'm pretty sure Josh's deck is actually the aggressive deck in this matchup, but it just didn't appear that way last game.
Yeah, last game he just was. Yeah, his deck. Look at his hand. He's got.
Yeah, he's gonna
Charger. He's got Croconera. He's got Drakewing Crisis. I don't know if he has a third land.
How much do you like Croconera?
I love
Croconera.
Crocodile Frog is really awesome because he's good in both. He's good in both the guilds, and he might actually be stuck on land.
Yeah, it's what it appeared. We were debating the best our favorite cards in the draft at Oasis a little while ago, and he pumped.
I think he had a burst of strength though. Does he? Oh no, it's a coming to play tablet. I don't. If he had a burst of strength, I definitely would have attacked with Experiment 1, but I don't know if he has it or not. I think he has 2 in his list. Let me see.
This is the untapped +1/+1 counter card.
Yeah, he has 2 and he's playing both of them. And he actually has 2 Experiment 1s too. So
that's sweet.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we were debating our favorite cards, and I said Shamble Shark wins just because its name is Shamble Shark, and because it's. I mean,
it's a fish crab.
It's a fish crab.
No, Timic has the sweetest creature type. It's fish crab, and so you curve out into fish crab, and then into crocodile frog.
Simic is actually an interesting archetype because you don't want lots of multiples in your deck.
Yeah, because they don't evolve each other.
Right, exactly. It's really weird where you're like, no one ever is like so excited. They're like, dude, I got four Shamble Sharks, because you don't want that. You want like 2 Shamble, maybe 2.
Maybe I don't know. I mean, when you grow him into a 4/3, like that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's true. His 1 toughness is actually the best quality in his entire
because he keeps growing.
Yeah,
they're getting bigger. I mean, that's the nice thing about Crocodile, right? Is like he has a low power, and then
he's always going to be a 2/4.
Yeah, and it's really easy to get him into a 3/5.
Right.
So why? So he attacked.
But you said he had the burst, right?
I definitely know he is a scout fan.
So if he has the burst, any block is profitable for him.
Well, he already blocked. He's going on the second main phase.
He already blocked.
No, he didn't block.
Oh, he did. I was
he did. He blocked.
What did he block with?
No, he didn't block. Because he didn't block. Because if he would have blocked the Oculus, he would have pumped it. And if he blocked the Experiment 1, he would have used a pump spell. Or one of his creatures would have died. He just took the damage. Medic's really valuable, so he doesn't want to risk losing it to a combat trick. But he's on the back foot as it is, so like Medic may end up just being a trained armored on this game, and he may just end up having to block. Alright, so Josh, I'm trying to think how much damage Josh has done so far. So he's attacked for 2, 4. I believe Jeff's at 13, if my math is correct.
Aerial Maneuver gives first strike, correct?
Yes, and flying. And +1/+1.
Well, anything else on that card?
I knew those effects.
So he's going to like jump his medic in front of, or jump his goblin in front of the Drakewing.
Right. Unless he thinks he has a trick, then he might jump the 4/4. He might make his guy a 4/4 instead.
Yeah, but then he's still going to lose to the Blood Rush.
No, I mean to block like the field Oculus or something.
Yeah, but I mean like is blocking Oculus that valuable in this situation? Like he's just gonna die to the Drakewing. And let me see what actual removal. I know he has a mugging. Jeff has a mugging in his deck.
He has a martial.
He has 2 martial glories.
Card's way better in sealed than it is in draft. So sad.
Still pretty good.
It's good, but I was
okay. Josh is just swinging in.
Yeah, because he's got tricks.
Yeah.
When you said tricks, I thought you were quoting Lord of the Rings because it sounded like you were like you sound like Smeagol for a second. I was like,
it's a breakfast cereal.
This game is for kids.
As opposed to Fruity Loops, the really bad extended deck from like 1998. And by bad, I mean good. Yeah, you guys are too new to this. I'm old.
Hey, I remember Tricks. Okay.
No, he's talking about the deck Fruit Loops.
Well, there's a deck called Tricks too.
It's true.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. I don't know what Fruit Loops is though. I know what Tricks is.
So this is interesting. I don't know what he blocked with the.
Well, I'm assuming he pointed to both creatures. So one of them's getting the power pump.
I'm assuming that the
so
goblins
so
obviously
power
getting the
pump
toughness.
and toughness pump.
Why would you give the goblin the toughness buff?
No.
I mean the power buff.
Power and toughness, right? Because this is a 3/3. So if he blocks here and pumps the
Oh,
toughness,
I didn't know if he was actually setting those in front of the creatures.
yeah,
he was blocking.
it saves the medic, and then he powers this. So if he pumps the Oculus, it still trades with the goblin, and this is still saving the medic.
People can't see point. You guys.
Okay. Yeah. So the goblin blocking the Oculus, and by pumping the power and then by pumping the toughness on the medic means that the goblin, even if he pumps Oculus, trades with it.
The Oculus is going to trade with the goblin no matter what.
That's true. Yeah.
That's why.
But it prevents him from blocking and pumping and saving the Oculus and losing the goblin, right? So it guarantees the trade. But yeah, so he's taking 3, loses because he has a Slaughterhorn, loses the medic, and now is staring down a Experiment 1.
I'm a little surprised that he didn't give the +1/+1 counter instead. That way he gets to keep the creature.
You mean just casting the Slaughterhorn?
No. Because you said you thought he had a burst.
He might not.
Doesn't have a burst.
Yeah.
I just saw his hand.
Yeah, I thought he did, but he doesn't because he would have played a little bit differently.
Right. Exactly. That's why I was confused because I was going off the burst play.
So now I think if he has a 4th land, he might just actually.
He did just draw a 4th.
He might just play the 2/4 because what that does is it evolves the Experiment 1 and allows him to attack past the 1/4. Yep.
Sick Rife.
Yeah. So now
I think this is lethal too. He's either at 9 or 7.
I mean, and if it's not lethal, Jeff obviously doesn't have a mugging for the Drakewing. So if he doesn't block and goes to 2, he still has to deal with the Drakewing.
I mean, it's obviously not lethal. It looks like he's going to 2.
Yeah, so he's just hoping to draw the mugging, I guess. But then he's still staring down a 4/4 Experiment 1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, that's game. Yeah, I mean, again, this is kind of the reverse of what happened the first game where Josh comes out swinging with a 1-drop into a 2-drop into a
that was
3-drop.
Jeff, but
Well, no, I mean in the
game
I see.
Yeah, in game 2. But in game 1, yeah, Jeff was 2-drop,
So
3-drop.
so let's see
3-drop.
game 3. They come out ball slugging and see what happens.
Yeah, hopefully we get to see maybe both decks.
actually, I think that was still a pretty good draw for Jeff's deck.
You think so?
I think it was like.
Because he had Goblin and
Yeah.
Medic? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was still a pretty good draw
Since
for
he only
him.
has 2 drops anyways. Yeah, that's true. I'm actually kind of, you know what I'm kind of curious about is because Josh has like a green side watcher in his sideboard. If he's boarding that in, and then it ends up not being, I'm actually surprised he's not playing it. That actually surprised me.
He has 2 gates. It is a little.
Yeah.
He might have 3 gates. Did he have 3?
I think he has 2. He has
Okay.
2. Yeah, that's a little odd that he's not playing Watcher, but he's playing Keyrune. So I might have to ask him about that. What his reasoning for that was.
It looks like this is getting short. So I'm gonna go see if there's another play that we.
So they're shuffling up. I'm not sure if they sideboarded any cards.
So definitely we saw, two vastly game swing in 2 different directions. Game 1, Josh has to roll down to 6.
Can I guess commentary in this game?
Oh, are we getting celebrity commentary?
Yeah.
All right, sure, Travis. You can sit down and do some commentary.
So Travis Padilla is going to join us for game 3 of
Yeah.
Josh versus Jeff.
It's Simic versus Boros. So Jeff won game 1 with a fast aggressive draw, and then Josh won game 2 with a fast aggressive draw.
And each game, the opponent had to mold a 6.
Yeah, I feel like
Boros has a huge advantage in this matchup in general.
But the thing is that, like, if you look at Jeff, you're in a different pod, right?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. So
He's like, no.
yeah. So Jeff. So the thing is, Jeff's deck is
His
not
isn't really aggressive.
No, he only has 2 drops, and he's playing like 2 Basilica guards.
His draft didn't look like it went so well.
Yeah, it does not look like your conventional 8 2-drop Boros deck with a bunch of like Blood Rush cards or Ember Beast to follow it up.
Yeah, he has some really bad cards in his deck.
And then Josh's deck looks like a pretty strong Simic deck. He's got double Experiment 1,
Yeah,
Cloudflare Raptor.
He showed me his deck. It was really good. For watching.
Alright, so Jeff looks like he's got a Realist
Realist
Fury in his
Fury.
hand. And that may be the reason he kind of is Boros, is possibly he opened that in his first pack and then just tried to stay with it.
Right.
And then if the guy to his right was Boros, then that may have ended up hurting him.
I feel like in this format, more than most, you have to read what's being passed to you.
For
Because
sure.
if you don't, you just get crushed in the draft. Like, it's more necessary than I've ever seen it before since I've been playing Magic. Like, you have to be in the right colors, or your deck will just be bad or mediocre, like Jeff's deck.
Yeah, and because the print runs are weird, right? Like in packs too, because we were talking about this where like, you know, I'll be whatever guild, like Orzhov, and I'll open like my pack 2, and there will not be an Orzhov card in
Right.
pack 2, which is like you're just like, what? How do I not have an actual card?
It's like we have an early Frilled Oculus and Armored Transport.
Yep. So he's gonna get in there because he's not gonna be. I mean, he could. He's trading 1 for 2, I guess. Is
Well, I'm
what he's
assuming
doing.
Josh has a drop to prevent
Yeah.
to win this race at this point.
Yeah. So he's just gonna go beat down since he has Crisis.
Looks like it's a Syndic of Tides that Jeff just drew.
Yep. So transport's going to attack. I'm trying to think. Does he have? I wonder what 4 drops he has, if he has any. I know he's an Assault Griffin.
Jeff swings with the Transport. Josh takes 2, goes to 16. And Jeff is at 19.
He might just. I mean, do you just Fury the Crisis here if you don't have an answer?
I can't tell what's in his hand. Looks like he has Night's Watch, Syndic. I think Jeff's thinking about. I think what I'd do is I would pass the turn, and then when Josh declares his attack, I would tap both the Oculus and then kill the Crassus, if that's the plan.
But Josh has the Burst of Strength in his hand.
Oh, okay.
So-
Has Jeff seen the burst of strength?
Not in either game.
Or what do you like to call it, Drew?
Well, we probably should mention it on
Something
there.
that's not.
It's a
something that's not
surprise.
appropriate.
It's definitely a surprise.
We're a family-friendly store.
I 13 picked a burst of strength and thought of Drew's clever nickname for it, and I was happy that it was in my sideboard.
So he's going to his upkeep. So he might actually just go 1 and 1 him to keep him from
Casting
Griffin. But this is going to end up really bad if he's only doing 1 of the Crisis. It does tap it, so it prevents 4 damage, but now he's going to have a 4/2 flyer instead of a...
Josh must not have burst of strength, right?
He has 2 in his deck. I swear he has it. Let's see. So he
He
drew an
just drew an
Experiment
Experiment
1. Okay,
The
so he plays the
forest.
Experiment 1, plays a land, passes the turn. He has Hands of Binding.
Yeah, he would have played burst of strength there, for sure, if he had it.
I think he has it.
Yeah.
Like, because I think I see a green card.
Well, it's a blue card on the front there.
Right, but when he's flipping through,
Hands of Binding.
is it a manipulator and he just can't cast it? Maybe that's what it is.
Jeff plays a Syndic of Tides, passes the turn after he attacks.
Alright, so he drews blue
Josh
swords.
looks like he's a little mana flooded there.
Yeah, and if it is manipulator and he doesn't have any other creatures, the manipulator is not going to be very good. Do you think if he has manipulator, do you think he should have played the Experiment 1 there? Do you think maybe he should have just waited?
He has Hands of Binding, Syndic Manipulator, and land. No
Okay.
versus rate.
So yeah, so it is Simic Manipulator. So do you think he should have waited on the Experiment one and just waited to draw an island and then cast the Manipulator and then cast Experiment one? And because like that Experiment one's not going to do anything with just a Manipulator, right?
Well, right now Josh wants the race, right?
I mean, but
Like it looks like Josh wants the race, and he should win the race as long as that Oculus is big against Jeff's deck.
but I mean, the Experiment one's only doing like one a turn anyways, right?
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like if you wait, you can cast the Manipulator, then the Experiment one, and then any creature you draw should make your Manipulator live versus both his 2-power guys.
I don't think Josh had another island in his hand though.
Right, but what I'm saying is because he doesn't have any creatures.
But I don't
right?
think you wait because he's on the race plan right now. He knows that he had the binding in his hand, and he knows that his Oculus can beat through most of Jeff's deck.
Right, but I don't know. I might have waited.
Night's Watch.
Yeah.
That's going to cause problems for Josh.
I mean, he can still attack with Oculus fairly profitably since he either kills one of the 2/2s if he decides to double block or he can just single block. Yeah, I don't know if I like just casting Experiment one, just like having a random 1/1 as opposed to having the Manipulator.
There's the burst of strength.
There it is, which would have been much better.
This could actually be a really good turn for Josh. He should attack with at least the Oculus.
I don't think you attack with Experiment one, right?
No, you just attack with the Oculus.
Right.
And then Jeff will probably just take it. He takes 3, then he can use the burst of strength and wreck Jeff really bad next turn.
Yeah.
He can also cast the Simic Manipulator in his hand.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I still think I would have waited on the Experiment one. That's just me. Because like the value of the Experiment one is so low on the board. Yeah, so he's going to attack. Yeah,
Jeff should just take it. I don't know what its life total is, but he should just take this.
yeah,
And then Josh will lock down the armored transport, I would imagine.
yeah.
You should
since
have
he
watched
can
my
block
match. It was awesome.
So yeah, so he's casting Manipulator here. He doesn't have any other creatures to evolve the
What
Manipulator, so I'm not sure what that
did
can do this game.
Josh not cast his Hands of Binding?
So he didn't use the Cipher cast.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
ultimately, well, it's going to cause Josh to take 2 more points of
Yeah,
damage.
2 extra points.
I'm not sure why he wouldn't have ciphered.
He might have just forgot. So you kill
the Syndic.
right?
Yeah.
Not sure what he's thinking about here.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy play.
Yeah.
Josh isn't known for his beatdown skills.
He's just
Why would
really
he take
what?
it?
I don't know. That actually surprises me.
Unless he wants to use the burst of strength on the Simic Manipulator. But it still doesn't make sense. You want to get Syndic off the board.
Yeah, I mean you kill the guy and then you have a 2/4 Oculus with a Hands of Binding. As opposed to, because he still has to draw a creature for the Manipulator to be
Yeah,
live.
that seemed like a terrible
He might be
play.
worried just because Jeff has 6 mana open.
I mean, but like, but you're
You still
dead.
gotta do it.
Yeah, you're like dead if he has anything, anyways. Like,
And getting the Syndic off the board is really important,
yeah,
especially in this situation. At a
Wow.
frontline medic?
yeah,
really
that's
good.
medic.
Now Josh is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I don't think Josh has a way out with his deck. He has. I don't even know. See, again, this is what I'm talking about. Where like now, if he has Experiment one in his hand and he draws
Right.
a creature, he could go Experiment one, evolve the Manipulator, cast a creature, evolve it, and then but he drew a land. It looks like I think or
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I think he just drew that forest.
Oh no, Croconaur. Yeah, so he could have gone Experiment
Mhm.
one, evolve the Manipulator, burst of strength the Manipulator, Crocodile Evolve it, and then
Take
Simic
the-
Manipulator, or well, however you can order it in a way that you go Experiment 1 Burst Strength Crocodile, and then
Right.
steal the Medic.
Right.
And then in that position, and his Experiment 1's a 2/2, and he had so
So
he's
it
a
would evolve
1/3
from
or
the
2/2.
Crocodile, so it would be a 3/3.
No, because
Experiment one would be 2.
yeah, no, it'd be a 2/2.
Okay.
Yeah, so he'd have a 2/2 Experiment 1, a 1/3 Crocodile, and a Medic, and a Frilled Oculus versus a board of 4 2/2s.
Well, that's why you're the best player in Utah right now, right, Drew?
I mean that's how I would have played the Experiment 1, because like
Right.
how much damage did the Experiment 1 end up doing?
1 point,
Like 1.
Yeah.
As opposed to stealing a frontline Medic this game.
which just wins Josh the game. At this
Yeah.
point.
But I'm pretty sure. I mean, he already used Aurelia's Fury, which I don't think he has a way to kill Medic once he uses Aurelia's Fury. So, I mean, he could kill it. He can't kill it in combat if he's attacking with 3 creatures. He can kill it blocking, like if he blocks and then does whatever.
Only if he doesn't trigger Frontline Medic.
No, I mean, like, if Josh blocks with Frontline Medic, he can, like, Jeff can kill it
Oh.
that way.
This is interesting now because
Now he
Josh
can kill
needs
both
to
creatures.
use the burst of strength in
Yeah.
order to wipe those off the board, and then he can be okay. Well,
I mean,
he's not great. He has a Crocodile, which can block the transport,
right.
but then the Syndic will be getting through.
Yeah, so he blocks Medic with Oculus and blocks, Transport with Crocodile, and then
Right.
takes 2. It looks
I
like
don't think Jeff has something.
Martial Glory. Ooh, that's bad.
Yeah, at this point, I don't think Josh can recover. Because the Oculus is going to die now no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter what he actually points that at as long as he's giving one of them +3 power. Did Josh pass priority there? Or did Jeff
He
Jeff
pumped
just
and
pulled?
then he pumped and then in response, Martial Glory.
Oh, okay,
Josh
so,
pumped the croc.
oh, okay.
Oculus.
Yeah. Do you think Jeff could have waited? I mean, is it worth losing a 2/2 at that point?
Yeah, because the rest of the game you're able to attack and you get his Oculus off the board.
Well, what
Which
I'm
is really
saying is,
important.
like, I mean, I'm wondering if Jeff could have got him with the Martial Glory if Josh tried to go for a burst of strength.
It's possible. I don't know what
What else?
Josh's life is at either.
And Manipulator is power, right? It
Yeah.
seals for power, yeah. So he can't seal the transport with it.
No.
Yeah, and now Jeff's going to get to attack with all of his creatures with impunity.
Frontline Medic's so hard to beat when it gets online.
Yeah, once you start
Especially
attacking with it, it's really hard.
This is why I don't like Simic. Is the only card that can take care of that card in Simic is Frog Lizard
Rapid
card.
acquisition. I think
Yeah.
Josh actually has that though.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, all you're doing is just blanking his creature, basically, right? Because he still gets a 3/3.
Yeah,
So-
but I mean,
But it's better than
much
just
rather deal
losing.
with a 3/3 than a
Yeah.
3/3 indestructible.
Yeah.
Makes everything else indestructible.
Yeah. Huh. So he's using the burst now to steal a guy.
It's interesting.
Which I don't know. I mean, I guess.
Is it? Well,
I
he
mean,
only
should-
had one counter on it, right?
No, he burst restricted it. Because he played the Crocodile, evolved it,
Got
now
it.
it burst restricted. So now he can steal a 2-power guy. So he's
Second.
stealing the Vigilant guy so he can
Block.
block. But you're not going to block with that, right?
No.
I mean, unless his life total is really low.
Yeah, Josh is at 6 lives, so maybe he needed. Well, he can still block the Syndic with his Manipulator. He can block.
Yeah,
the
so
Transport
he
with the
could
Crocodile,
so he could have
and then
actually
he takes
waited.
3 and go to 3. I don't know why you would do that right there. Cause
So he could have waited and made his guy a 2/3, right? Is what
Yeah.
you're saying, and then block with it.
Yeah, then you just block a Syndic.
But the other problem is he can't steal it on his turn. He has to wait until his next turn to steal it, because then the Manipulator will die from damage when he becomes a 0/1.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, so he
But
just
worst
has to
case
wait a
scenario,
turn.
if Jeff has a trick, he has the other Martial Glory. He can still it in response, and he still gets value out of it.
Yeah, now his blocks are not good because he can throw the Crocodile in front of the transport, like you were saying, and
Yeah.
then
And then he just
like starts throwing creatures away.
yeah, he has to block. He should block the front like medic. He can't go to 1 because of the Syndic.
And I think Jeff has a Griffin in his hand, which, barring any shenanigans, would close up the game.
Is there a gas station?
He shouldn't block with the experiment one. He should block with the tokens.
Because he could potentially evolve the experiment one and have a 3/3, right?
Right.
That can
I don't know why he
regenerate.
blocked like that.
I don't know either. So he takes 2, goes to 4 if his life total was 6. Now Jeff is going to cast an Assault Griffin, which will, because he's gonna, because it'll put him at 3 with the
3,
Extort, and then if
But he
Josh
still
doesn't have
he
an
can still
answer.
block it with Croconura.
So he's at 3.
I don't think Josh has much that can.
And
No,
he's
I
only got
mean-
that one card, right?
He has a Rapid Hybridization. He has his one hand's a Binding, which he already used. He's got a Simic Charm, which staves it off for a turn.
I think this point, with his head in his hands, Josh is kind of doing the math in his head and realizing it's not a good
Is
situation
he
to be in.
not playing Biomass Mutation?
He is.
Oh, he is? Okay.
He is.
I don't know. They crossed it off and it's marked as 0, so I don't know if he's playing that
Oh,
or
maybe he took it out.
not. Huh.
Maybe he has his other burst of strength.
So he just has like 2 bursts?
This is a Hail Mary, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, Josh is at, or Jeff is at what, like
He's got
double
a big-
digits,
yeah,
right?
double
I'm assuming
digits
double
still.
digits, so. Yeah, I think this is pretty much
Josh is
it.
at 14, or Jeff is at 14.
He's at 15.
15.
I just checked life totals.
Wow, so if he had Biomass Mutation, he could have attacked with everything
And just one
and
right
possibly won. That's why Biomass Mutation is pretty good.
there. Well, Jeff has to be expecting the burst of strength at this point, but he doesn't care. He's just going to go ram all his guys in there.
Yeah, because Medic doesn't care what's going on.
And what if his life total is now at?
3.
Yeah.
So if he has Burst of Strength, he can burst the Croconura, throw out 3 of his creatures, basically
He'll
under
go
the
to 1.
boss. Yeah, and he'll lose 2 of his creatures and just have a Croconura left.
So if Jeff has a spell here,
Yeah, if
It's
Jeff has
over.
a spell, it's a big match. Yep. Trug shows him a spell. That's the
alright,
match.
that's the match.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely feel like
Josh misplayed a bunch there.
Yeah, I think the experiment one, like I would have sat on it for sure. I mean, the value of a 1/1 in play is like nothing is compared to the value of evolving a Simic Manipulator, and then again, not using the Burst of Strength to ambush a 2/2
Later,
is
right.
pretty big that game because
Yeah.
he ended up taking a bunch of extra damage. I don't know if it would have mattered in the long run, but definitely I think
Yeah, he was in a bad position regardless.
Just kind of the start of the slope.
Yep, so that was match 1, guys. So we should be, I think, getting pretty close to wrapping it up, and then we'll have match 2 of the draft ready to go in a little bit.
Okay, stay tuned. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yep,
Yeah, thanks for
Travis.
having us. Bye, Travis.
I'll be back later, hopefully.
Sounds good.